All right, everybody. Good to have you here with me today. This is Dogecast. We are going live. If you are watching this after 11:45, it's 11:45 a.m. right now on Wednesday, June 30th. So we're going live. Dogecoin is falling right now. It is down to Yahoo Finance. Here is where I'm at with my chart. So they only update once every minute or so. So I'm going to hook up my Robinhood. We're down to 0.2396. So I want to talk about what's going on here with the fall in price. This is something we very much expected to happen. If you've been a follower of this channel, if you've been a subscriber of this channel, you know that I was talking about this idea that perhaps at the end of June, we might see individuals trying to pull the price down because July is expected to be so good. I know we don't know when in July this is going to happen, depending on how antsy people get. But we need to talk about what's going on now, and I need to prepare you all for possible reinvestment if you want to. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. I kind of have to legally say this based off of YouTube, but I'm going to just tell you what you should expect and be prepared for with a possible pull down here, which we're already seeing. I mean, we're down 8.8857% right now. So I'm going to talk to you about what could possibly happen here, why this is happening, what to expect going into July, and how to handle this entire thing. We're going to let people get in here, see if we have anyone on the chat. If you're here and you want to let me know, go ahead and say something on the chat. I know that there's a delay between me and you, but that's fine. So let me go ahead and share with you exactly what's going on right now. So if you're looking at the chart here, Dogecoin is actually at 0.2391 at this point. This was, like I said, completely expected. Matter of fact, if you watched yesterday's video, I had shared with you that some people were getting the price was going up too much. The Dogecoin was almost at 27 cents. And for the end of July, with all the volatility that was supposed to be there, that price was simply too high. It should not have been that high. And I think that was people just getting in too early, or maybe inflating the price for a possible pull down to try and get people to sell off to get the price as low as possible. That was what we were expecting. And then you go out and you see different analysts saying, oh, look at how good everything's performing. And I'm thinking like, well, this is not what we expected. So if something happens that we're not expecting to happen, we need to think about why that's the case. So in this situation, we know why this is the case. So here is the plan. Your reinvestment plan is 22 and change. If Dogecoin goes down to 22 and change, that's where my recommendation is. Again, you need to do your own due diligence. But if it goes to 22 and change, that's where you might want to possibly reinvest. This is the way you should do it. If you only have $100 to reinvest, you're like, I got $100. I got it. I'm not going to do anything with it. It's $100. Don't put all 100 in at 22 and change. Put 50 of it in at 22. So maybe it goes to 0.2276 and you're like, all right, $50 in. Then if it goes to 21 and change, you put another $20 in. Then if it goes to 20 and change, you put another $20 in. If it goes to 19 and change, you put the last 5 in. So you invested as it dipped down. Now, in my opinion, Dogecoin has consolidated so strongly over the volatility we had, remember, like a week or two ago, and things were getting crazy. It dipped down to like 16 cents and change. Well, there was so much consolidation, so many more long-term serious investors got in. I don't see Dogecoin being able to really stay below 20 cents at this point. So there's a lot of protection there in your investment. Nothing is 100% when it comes to this. But what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of protection. So even as you're investing down, don't think that Dogecoin is going to dip into nothing land. It's just not. So it might hit the 19 and change, but then it'll pop right back up to 20. So those investments that you're making in at 22, 21, 20 and change should really work out well for you in the long run. And it may be the last opportunity for you to do that. And I think anyone who is a big time investor in Dogecoin, somebody who has a lot of money, as this pull down is coming, that's exactly what they're thinking about doing right now. So you want to be in the mix of this. Again, this is totally expected. What is happening right now with Dogecoin being down 9.19%? This is not, I don't look at this and go, oh my gosh, we didn't foresee this at the end of June. We never knew or thought that they might, try to pull it down, or that there might be some short selling or something going on. What happened yesterday was unexpected. If you watched my video yesterday, I completely didn't understand what was happening yesterday. I mean, we're up to 27 cents. I can't come on to and you may have seen that in my video. You may have been like, oh, Vince, usually you should be excited about that. For me, it's like, why is Dogecoin performing in a way that doesn't make sense? Well, it actually makes sense now. Pump it up, bring it down. Try to get the selling, try to get people to sell off. We'll see how much that'll work. Maybe the people who hold Dogecoin now are simply not going to sell off. They're not going to let it go to 22 and change anymore. Maybe they're testing the waters to see how strong the bottom is right now. Remember, these people are in it to make millions of dollars. You're talking about individuals who have millions of Dogecoin, people who are communicating with each other, you're big time investors. I mean, you have to keep in mind, they're not like us. They're not like me and you. They're not going and working at they're not a carpenter by day. They're not a teacher by day, a firefighter by day. They're not a normal person in a home, right? These are big time, maybe they're hedge fund investors. Maybe they're, big time, whatever they do, they communicate with each other and they try to manipulate markets. If there's money to be made, manipulation's going to happen. And they know that the crypto asset market is bound to skyrocket in the upcoming months. I mean, it should happen in the fall is when we should see the skyrocket. But I don't think people are going to wait till the fall, because why would somebody wait till when it's going to happen to get in? You would have to be foolish to do that. You want to get in before it happens. So that's why I think we're going to start to see it happening in July, even though July shouldn't be the month when it's happening. It should be the fall. So, but now, end of June is the time to pull this thing down. So we're seeing that happening right now. I'll check to see if anyone's on. Hopefully I am live. Oh, yes, good. Guess. There's no sound? Is there sound? Can you guys hear me? Because I just went on for a long time talking, and that would be terrible if there was no sound. I would have to restart this entire thing. If somebody can let me know if there's sound, that would be good. I did try to check. Oh, there is. Oh, perfect. Whew. Okay, excellent. As a teacher, that's something I experienced many times. Zoom meetings all year long, right? And sometimes you pump into the day, you pump into the period. And I'm a social studies teacher. I teach global history. And I would be going on. I'm like, yeah, guys, let's talk about this, whatever. Aztecs, Roman Empire, the Greeks. And I'd be going for like 10 minutes. Don't look at the comments. And then at the end of the day, I look at it, kids say no sound. That's great. Let's start again. But we don't have to worry about that. Sound's going good. So hopefully, if you didn't catch what I said earlier in the video, when the video's done, you're going to want to go back and catch it, because what's happening right now with Dogecoin is completely expected. And it's going to tell us a lot about Dogecoin too, because it's going to tell us how strong did Doge really consolidate? How many long-term investors are in there? Because I'm telling you, they're trying to pull this down right now. Let me switch the area. Let me get out of area. Let me just go to line. There's a big boom. You see this red here? This red? I don't even need to, this bar right here, this is a big time sell-off. There was a big time sell-off back here. There was another one here. There was another one here. I guarantee you that there are individuals communicating with each other that they know that the crypto asset market is bound for a massive increase soon. And they're trying to pull these things down as far as they possibly can, because there's no reason that this should be happening except for that, which is something we've been telling you about. If you're a subscriber to the channel, you've heard me say it over and over again. We expect volatility at the end of June and a possible pull down, because we expect July to be really good. Not because July should be good. Probably September, October, November should be good. But people are going to want to get in early, right? It's like you go to the amusement park and you want to have a good day, right? You want to have a lot of fun. So you get the fam together. You don't want to get in there at 12 noon. That's crazy. You want to get there when gates open, especially if you're a big amusement park person. Why? Because you want to get in early. You want the low lines. You want to get in when it's cooler out and experience the whole day. You don't want to come in when the entire park is filled to capacity. Well, we're expecting the crypto asset market to start being filled up, getting filled to capacity in the fall months, which means I'm expecting people to start jumping on board in July, which also means I'm expecting at the end of June for people to try and pull this thing down. Because what bad news is out there? I mean, this is probably the worst news. Let me go to this one right here. This is from Bitcoinist, right? Where's the title? No title? This is about China. Oh, here it is. After chasing off Bitcoin miners, China launches new test for digital yuan, or however they say their thing there. The yuan. The yen. We want to say yen. We want to spell it like yuan and say yen. So obviously it's their yen. It's their digital currency. So China kicking out miners, and now they're starting their own digital currency? What's up with that? Oh, wait a second. That's exactly what you would expect China to do. If you think China kicking out miners had anything to do with the fact that they were using dirty coal and it wasn't environmentally friendly, as if the government of China, the CCP, as if they're environmentally friendly entity, it had nothing to do with that. China They want to control their people. They want to control digital currency. They want to make sure that they're in charge. And these decentralized digital currencies, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Cardano, whatever, Shiba, whatever you're into, no government's in charge of them. They're decentralized completely. Well, hey, we got to get rid of this because we see the future here. So this is probably the worst news there is. But you guess what? Nobody in the world is going to want to be a part of this yen, of China's digital yen currency. No one's going to want any part of this because people don't trust China. Nobody does. That's why the United States currency is still the world currency. Although the United States has its problems, at the end of the day, people, at least to some degree, have some sort of trust more than they do for China. So their digital currency is not going to work, but it makes sense why they kicked Bitcoin mining out of their country. Here, in this case, what we're seeing is people trying to pull down the prices of the digital currencies that are going to work and pump into them in July. And that's exactly what we're seeing. So if you did not catch the earlier part of this, I'm going to tell you what to do. I'm going to try and lower my volume so it doesn't ring off again. I'm going to tell you what to do. So here's the deal. If the price falls to 22 and change, you are going to want to invest. That's my recommendation. Again, you need to do your own research. If it can possibly make it there. And you don't have to reinvest a lot, right, guys? You don't have to put thousands of dollars into this, okay? If you have $50, you have $50. If you have $20, you have $20. Whatever you got. If you have $100, right? So we said $100. If you got $100 and you were like, man, I really want to reinvest more into Dogecoin, I just don't know when to do it. 22 and change is your opportunity. If it doesn't go to 22 and change, hallelujah. It never went to 22 and change. If Dogecoin never goes back to 22 and change again, wonderful. It's only going to go up then. But if it can pull back to 22 and change right now, I would say take your $100, don't invest all of it, invest 50 of it. If it falls to 21 and change, invest another $20. If it falls to 20 and change, invest another $20. If it falls to 19 and change, invest the last 5. You invested as it went down. I believe that 20 cents is where Dogecoin consolidated its strength to. I don't think that these people can bring it down any further than that. If it hits 19 and change, it's going to be brought back up. I don't even know if it's going to get to 22 and change. But that's why I'm trying to tell you to reinvest there, because if it does get there, that's your opportunity from this June pull down for the July event, which I think is going to be really good. And again, completely expected. This yesterday wasn't expected. Dogecoin going to nearly 27 cents again, 28 cents again, that wasn't expected. Let me, if I go to the 5-day here. This, you see this right here? I hope my face isn't blocking this. This you should at least see the top of it. That was unexpected, right? If I went on to YouTube, right, and I was like, oh my gosh, guys, Dogecoin's doing amazing, it's doing super good, like look at the chart, look how amazing. I don't know, honestly, like, why am I saying this? Is it just because it's going up? It's not just about what Dogecoin does. It's not just about it going up and down and being excited when it goes up and sad when it goes down. It's about knowing why this happens and being prepared for it. When it went up like that was a little strange. I mean, I understand that there's news coming out that Dogecoin's fees are going to go down, but that's nothing new. All the big time investors and the big time Doge investors already knew about that. So it's not like new people on the street somehow heard about this as they were going to the pizza shop. You know, they weren't just getting themselves a slice of what are you going to get? A good New York sausage and pepper slice. And then all of a sudden they were getting the latest Doge news online. And then somebody said, hey, by the way, did you hear? They're going to be lowering the fees by 100 times. That's right. And then all of a sudden they bought in here. That didn't happen. Everyone knew, anyone who's into Doge already knew that this was going to happen. So was that because of that news? I doubt it. I mean, maybe a little bit. Like somebody was like, oh, it's really happening. You know, like, of course it is. So I think this was unusual. This right here, this week, was very much expected. But what I actually expected was for this chart to continue like that, straight across, not to see this bump up, and then to see this dip that we're seeing right now. The dip we're seeing right now was expected. This line was expected. I really hope that my face isn't in the way. I'm going to move my face, because I don't want to be doing all this stuff here. Yeah, this line was expected. This dip today is expected. This one was not. But if I had to take a guess, I would say it's a mixture of the transaction fee being lowered and also a little bit of pump going on. I think there was some pump happening here. Why was the pump happening? For the pull down that's happening now. But let's see what they can do. Let's see how far they can pull this down, because I have a feeling that they're not going to be able to pull it down that far. But we're going to be ready. If they can get it to 22 and change, we're going to be ready for that, because I have to be honest, this might be the last opportunity. I see this as possibly the last opportunity, especially if you're in this early to invest. So I'm going to be waiting. I totally think that this is, should be happening. This is what I expected to be happening end of June, and we're going to be waiting for it. So let's see here. Any questions from anybody? No, just a lot of Doge is the new COVID-19. It's a viral infection. Okay. I guess. I don't know. Doge variant. New quarter. Yeah, new quarter. I don't know. I think when people are trying to make money, they when somebody's going to invest $1 million into this, the difference between 27 and change and 22 and change is huge. It's a big difference. And that's why it surprises me. Sometimes I'll come out with a video and somebody will say, well, Vin, if you're going to invest at 22 and change, why not just invest at 24 and change? You cannot invest like that. If that's your mentality, get the heck out of investing, because you will destroy yourself. You cannot do that. That is called gambling. That is called playing games with your money. When you invest, you only invest what you can lose, right? This is not gambling. You don't play with money that you need for your house, for your food, for your kids, for future security, for car payments, for insurance. You don't play games by getting margin or credit. You don't do any of that stuff. You only use the money that you can, that is, it's there. It's available. Even after entertainment purposes, I have extra money. It's available. It's there. That's the money you use. And you don't even use all of that. So you figure out how much that is for you, okay? And when you invest it, you need to invest it in an educational way. So for me, I want something with a lot of potential. I want something where I see the future going. I want something that's exciting and interesting. I want something that's involved with, some of the new technology that's going on, the space race, right? Elon Musk, digital assets. I like this space. Yes, I like the company Caterpillar too, right? But I'm not that into the excavators. So I would invest my money there, but it's just not exciting. I want something exciting, potential, future. That's what I want to get involved in, and I want to one of these digital assets, and there's a bunch. You should invest in more than one if you like them, but I want one that I see with the most potential, and Dogecoin I see has the most potential. It has the most, one of the strongest backings to it, and so I invest. I choose one that I think is wise, and then you invest wisely. You look at the market data, you look at the news, you look at the trends, you figure out what's going on, and you can't just throw money in whenever you want. Could I throw in $500 right now? I could, but I'm not going to, because that's not how you invest. I threw in some money at 17 and change because I believed something when I was watching the trends and the consolidation, and it worked out. I could have thrown that money in at 21 and change, but I didn't. Now I believe something again. I believe that Dogecoin consolidated so strong it cannot really go below 20 cents at this point. Not right now. Not with the news that's floating out right now. It's not bad enough anymore. It just isn't. Unless it becomes outlawed in the United States of America, that would be just destructive. But, the United States of America can't just outlaw things. Technically, we have separation of powers, right? Bicameral legislature. And I don't think that our senators and House of Representatives have enough togetherness to actually outlaw something like this. Too many of them are actually invested in this stuff, just so you know. Our senators and people in the House of Representatives, if you don't think they're invested in this stuff, you're kidding yourself. So I highly doubt they're going to outlaw it. But will they legislate it? They'll legislate it. Hopefully they don't legislate it to death. So we're seeing what we expect to happen here. We're watching it. Can they pull it down to 22 and change? I don't know. Right now, it's struggling. They're struggling to get it below 24 cents. But this is the time. If they're going to pull it down, this is the time. So you have a reinvestment plan. If it doesn't go to 22 and change, then you're going to be fine. But I strongly believe Dogecoin can't really fall too much below 20. So that's why I'm reinvesting at 22, 21, 20, and then I'll watch it rise above that. The same way it happened at 17 and change, and it rose above it. The same way it's going to happen here, and it's going to rise up again. And July should be a good month. It really should be a good month. There's just all good news right now. Crypto asset market is reinventing itself right now. It's reinventing itself with much better computers for this mining aspect. It's reinventing it, and not just Bitcoin, by the way, is going to be using much better computers, but Dogecoin too. Dogecoin working so closely with Elon Musk. Elon Musk has what, the fifth most powerful computer on planet Earth now. He also has Starlink. You think Dogecoin's not going to connect with that? The computer systems that these crypto assets are going to be using is going to increase efficiency across the board. They're also going to be using renewable energies. I know that's a trigger word for some people, but whatever. Like, if the world governments like renewable energies, hey, we'll use renewable energies. We also see Dogecoin coding in hundreds of changes that is going to increase its security, efficiency, speed, transaction fees much lower. All good news going on. We see country after country. We know that Panama is now. We see Brazil is now going to be accepting. We know that Mexico is looking into accepting crypto assets. We know that El Salvador already accepted crypto assets. We know that there's travel companies now. Every day, it seems like there's new companies that are accepting Dogecoin for payment, or Bitcoin for payment. We saw that travel company, I believe it was from the UK, that now accepts Dogecoin for payment. So countries, companies, new coding, new upgrades, more potential. I mean, we're even seeing, if China is coming out with a digital currency, do you think digital currency is the future? I think it is, but not one that's centralized. We don't want one that's centralized, ladies and gentlemen. For all my Christians out there, you guys know what the Bible talks about. Some of you may not be Christians, I don't really know, but if you're a Christian, you know what the Bible starts talking about at the end of times, right? We do not want to get behind a currency system that has centralized control by anybody, where they can figure out where you are, who you are, what transactions you're making, when you're doing them, why you're doing them. We don't want none of that stuff. China comes out with a digital currency. Yeah, right. Last thing I'm going to get involved in is some digital currency that a centralized government is putting forth. No, I want one that's not centralized. This is why I like Doge. This is why I like Bitcoin. These aren't centralized things, but you see world governments trying to do it. This is the future. So you're in the right space. Okay. All right. Let me just take a look at comments quickly. If there's anything new, I will address it. If not, then I'm not going to keep going around in circles here. What should we expect this price in terms of prices? I would expect today and tomorrow them to try to pull it down. I would expect possible 22 and change reinvestment, possible 21 and change reinvest, possible 20 and change reinvest. I expect in July at some point, or it depends on how antsy people get. If people are like really chopping at the bit to get into Dogecoin and they don't want to miss out on the pump that's going to happen, then it's going to start earlier in July. If people are willing to wait, if these investors are strong and they're willing to wait to see if it'll fall further, then but I don't think they will. I don't think they're going to wait that long. I think sometime in early July, maybe July 5th, 6th, maybe earlier than that. Don't really know, but I think we're going to start to see things pull up fairly quickly. I believe. Yeah, I could be wrong. I don't really know, but House of Representatives Committee on Crypto happening right now is affecting the price, in my opinion. Yeah, although what are they going to do? What are they going to do? They're going to regulate it. We have senators and people in the House who invest in this stuff. They're millionaires based off of this stuff. They're not going to get rid of it. Now, because it's not a company, they're not necessarily beholden to anybody. But I don't think they're going to outlaw it. They might regulate it. And their biggest thing that they're going to regulate is the security aspect of it. They don't want people using this stuff for criminal activity, which, people use cash for criminal activity, to be honest with you. If you want to do criminal acts, paying people with cash is usually the best way to do it, right? You can't track it, can't trace it. People have been doing that forever. Now it's difficult to track and trace digital assets. It's not impossible. You can figure out which wallets they're coming from if you have enough investigative power, but they're going to want to probably control that a little bit more. So look for regulations on that. I'm okay with some regulations. Smart regulations mean that they're accepting that it's a part of society. It will have nodes and Starlink. Yeah, I foresee some sort of connection in some way. Elon Musk was talking about the fact that the new computer system he had was not only for Tesla. He actually made some sort of a statement to that effect. I can't remember the exact quote, but I know that I saw it. I read it somewhere at some point, and I've come to trust sometimes the brain neurons that are back there. When there's something that I remember that specifically, that there was more capacity to be used for other things. So Doge could be a part of that. And selling weed is less of a crime. Selling weed is less of a crime than what some people are doing. That is for absolute sure. There's no doubt about that. There's some real corruption going on in this world. There's no doubt. Zero audio. Maybe you are. It seems like everyone else can hear me. So, all right. Yeah, so we're not, this is not unexpected. Like I said, guys, what happened yesterday was unexpected. This week, super expected. This collapse, super expected. This, not so much. But if you want to think of it as a pump and then a dump, then that makes sense. Why? Because they know it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. It's coming. It's going to happen. They're going to skyrocket. All right? And people are trying to get in, and they're losing time. So if you want to be a part of it, you can be a part of it. So far, they can't pull Dogecoin any lower than 24 cents. This is good. I mean... If Dogecoin can't go below 24 cents, I mean, it's hit 23 and change, but if Dogecoin can't go below 24, then the consolidation is stronger than I actually thought. Because I'm thinking the consolidation right now is 20 cents. I'm thinking, in my mind, that the investors that got behind Dogecoin, the long-term serious investors, will not allow Doge now to dip below 20 cents. Before, previously, if you've been with me for a while, I listed it as 17. And we tested those waters. I mean, we literally tested them. If I go to the month, Here it is, right? 17.8691. And if I have to be honest with you, it actually hit 16.8 something, I think. So we hit that. We tested that. And I was a little, I had to tell you, you get onto YouTube and you start sharing this information with people. It gets a little scary when you're watching it yourself. I was a little worried, but it tested those waters. It dipped down twice. It proved twice that that's where the consolidation was. I now believe that the consolidation strength is at 20 cents. I don't think Dogecoin can go below that. If they can't get Dogecoin to fall below 24 cents, it's actually stronger than even I thought it was. And it seems like they're struggling with that right now. We're seeing it kind of pop back up. But if it dips back down, don't worry about it. 22 and change, reinvest, 21 and change, 20 and change, 19, watch it skyrocket back up. Be on board for the ride that I think is going to happen in July. It's good. It's a preemptive ride because the ride really should start in fall. But I think too many people are going to be antsy enough to want to get in July because they don't want to miss out. So totally expected stuff. Developer said Dojo doesn't want to have applications for Doge, but he's working on Starlink Doge Nodes. Oh, cool. Yeah, very cool. I like that. I know that the developers are adopting connections with Bitcoin's latest upgrade. I think Bitcoin did an upgrade back in December or January. I forget what it is. It's like their 0.21 something. They have an upgrade that they did that is in reference to the nodes themselves, which are the computers that communicate on the blockchain. And Dogecoin is making some encoding upgrades to utilize that Bitcoin upgrade. And I also know that Dogecoin is making some connections with Ethereum so that you can have the Dogecoin equivalent token on Ethereum. So Dogecoin's making connections with Bitcoin and Ethereum to some degree. This doesn't necessarily mean that they're like working together, quote unquote, although there may be some of that. We don't really know. But yeah, if you're saying that, that's working on the Starlink Doge nodes, it wouldn't surprise me, of course. And there's a lot of work to be done here. This stuff is not easy. I don't know if you watched when Ross Nicole was doing his Twitch live. I didn't get to see it live, but I saw the recording. He was basically coding for like, I don't know, an hour and a half. He put his coding music on. Apparently these coders have coding music, and he was just coding, right? Just mesmerized by it. It was almost like it was late at night too when I was watching. It was basically putting me to sleep. It was like watching Bob Ross painting some mountains and some trees and some clouds with cloud friends. And if you want to be able to soothe yourself to sleep, Bob Ross, man, he's the way to go. But if you don't have Bob Ross, maybe go with the other Ross Nicole, Dogecoin developer, coder, late at night, some coding music, put you right to bed, because that's kind of, but it was mesmerizing to see it. I mean, the way that this stuff works, it's really cool to watch it. Said on Twitter. Oh, good. Yeah. So, okay. So, I don't know. Maybe there's some news about the development going on here. But, yeah, anyway, everything looks good right now. And so, I don't want to keep this going on for too long, because sometimes I actually said to a friend the other day, I was like, man, I see some of these guys doing these live feeds and it's like an hour and a half long. And I'm thinking, I look at the YouTube thing. I don't know if you guys ever do this, but I'll look at how long the YouTube video is. And if it's like not less than 8 minutes, like, even though it's a topic I'm interested in, I won't click on the video. I'm like, I don't got 14 minutes for your video, guy. You know what I mean? Even though I'm totally interested in this topic. So then I move on to like cats that fall down wells or something. And like the live feeds are the worst, because they can be like an hour and a half or 2 hours long. And I'm like, I'm not watching an hour and a half live feed. And then I get on and I start doing the same thing myself. So here's Bitcoin. Bitcoin's down 5.4%. Wow, look at that. And Ethereum. Ethereum's actually been doing pretty good as of late. Ethereum, man, I think Ethereum hit its bottom too. So Ethereum's down 4.65. Doge is down 7%. So Doge is getting it the worst right now, but that's because Doge got a pump up yesterday that should not have happened. This. Doge's fall off should have been at this level right here, the 25-cent level. That's where so we should be, but we got this pump over here. Some players out there trying to pump and play games with the prices, but the Dogecoin consolidation is so strong right now, people are not buying it. We're not buying it. The consolidation is so strong, we already know what's going down. Dogecoin investors, we already get it. We're getting smarter as the days go on. And so, man, they couldn't get it below 24 cents. This is not great for reinvestment purposes. This is not what we want to see. We want to reinvest into Doge because we know that the future includes Doge. I wanted to see some 22-cent mark, but if they can't get it below 24 cents, you know what the positive on that is? Maybe I don't get to reinvest, but the positive on that is that the Dogecoin community of investors is a lot stronger than we realized if they can't get it below 24 cents. Because if there's a big July coming, you know they want to get it below that mark. All right, let's take a look at some of the comments here. Expecting a quiet few weeks. Really? Quiet few weeks. July is going to be an interesting one. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. And I don't even know how early it's going to start in July, but it could be around the 5th. I don't know why the 5th is in my mind. And of course, a random Musk rant. How many Doge do you own? I own quite a bit of Doge. I'm not going to say the exact number, but for a teacher with 3 kids and a stay-at-home wife, it's enough Doge for me. More Doge than I should probably have, but not enough Doge to make like a millionaire. Like I'm not like a millionaire. That's a for Shazor. All right. I'm not 100,000-aire on Doge either, if that helps you out. Okay. So I don't want you to think like I'm overflowing with Doge, but it's significant. It's a significant part of my investment. But I wouldn't give the exact number. All right. So yeah. We're not going to keep this thing going around and around in circles. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet and you're listening still, subscribe to the channel. Doge is going nowhere. We're going to see this thing in the media. We're going to see this in the future. We're going to see companies, corporations, countries accepting this as payment. You're either going to get on board or you're going to get left off the train. And right now is the time. I think this is the final attempt at the pull down. The pull down might be today, tomorrow, possibly, maybe even the next day. But these are the final attempts as far as I'm concerned. And I don't think Doge can collapse below 20%. I think the consolidation is too strong there. So if it hits 22 and change, you want to reinvest. And if it doesn't, then hey, Dogecoin's stronger than we thought it was, and just watch it rise to the moon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys are awesome. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. It is a scorcher out there in the Northeast. I know the Pacific is also super hot if you're from the United States of America. It is hot everywhere. I also know that Canada is really hot in many places right now, like way up there, 115 degrees. So stay cool, everybody. Enjoy your day. Enjoy the rest of the week. I may catch you guys a little bit later on or tomorrow with a video. Have a good one. As always, I'll catch you next time. Later, everybody.